day, viewers. My name is Aiyeola. I am the pastor of Chapel of Victory, a parish of the Redeemed Christian Church of God based in Milton, Keynes, in United Kingdom. It is my honor to present to you the Open Heavens reflection today based on the Open Heavens Daily Guide written by Pastor Adeboye, the General Overseer of the Redeemed Christian Church of God. The topic before us today is, how selfless are you? Our Bible passage today can be found in the book of Matthew, chapter 20. We're looking at it from verse 24 through to 28. And when the 10 heard it, they were greatly displeased with the two brothers. But Jesus called them to himself and said, "You know that the rulers of the Gentiles lord it over them, and those who are great exercise authority over them. Yet it shall not be so among you. But whoever desire to become great among you, let him be your servant. And whoever desire to be the first among you, let him be your slave. Just as the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve, and to give his life a ransom for many." Our memory verse is still in this book of Matthew, the 20th chapter. We'll look at verse 28. Just as the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve, and to give his life a ransom for many. Our reflection today. Humanly speaking, Jesus gave up his will for God's will. Luke 22:42. And this is another salient point. Selflessness involves more than putting other people first. It is putting God first. As John the Baptist said concerning Jesus, he must become greater. I must become less. John 3:30. More of the Lord, less of us. Selflessness is illustrated well in Jesus' parable of the Good Samaritan, found in Luke 10:29-37. It is a story about a man from Samaria who encounters a robbery victim. The Samaritan has compassion on this man who had been stripped, beaten, and left for dead. Luke 10:30. The Samaritan immediately put his own plans on hold and tends to the man's wound. Luke 10:34. Not only does the Samaritan give selflessly of his time and his sympathy, but he gives selflessly of his assets. The Samaritan places the wounded man on his own animal, takes the man to an inn, and takes care of him there. Luke 10:34-35. The next day, the Samaritan pays the innkeeper money enough for a few more days at the inn, with a promise to return and pay the balance of whatever was owed. Luke 10:35. Jesus' story reveals the Samaritans to be selfless in numerous ways. He puts the needs of others ahead of his own and went out of his way to shower benevolence on a battered stranger. Selflessness runs counter to human nature, which is why selfless is so much more difficult than being selfish. It's natural to care about ourselves, and we are encouraged to think selfishly from all sides. However, the Christian must daily heed the words of the Apostle Paul. I have been crucified with Christ. It is no longer I who live, but Christ who lives in me. And the life I now live in the flesh, I live by the faith in the Son of God, who loved me and gave himself for me. Galatians 2:20. No believer, young or old, can live a selfless life without a constant abiding in the Lord Jesus Christ. For it is only through him that our attitudes can be changed and molded towards unselfish behaviors. If Christ indeed lives in our inner man, and we keep in step with him, we should find ourselves identifying with, rather than marveling at, the Good Samaritan. Quest for such a position and self will no longer be our preoccupation. Our prayer point for today is, ask that the spirit of holiness be manifested in the body of Christ worldwide. God bless you. Have a nice day.